11 million people systematically murdered from 1938 to 1945. 6 million Jews. 5 million other. Other means Poles, people of Polish descent, homosexuals, people with special needs, communists, atheists, Russians. If you weren't blonde, blue-eyed, Christian, and German, you were other. We had no use for you. 11 million in total. Of the 6 million Jews, 1 million children under the age of 10. Who has younger brothers or sisters? 1 million children under the age of 10. I can't think of what an 8-year-old could do that is so wrong that the only answer we can think of is to kill them. $11 million people. Close your eyes for a second. Can you imagine 11 million anything? That number is so huge. That number is too big. Okay, we can't imagine 11 million. Try to imagine 6 million. Too big? Try to imagine 1 million. 1 million smiling children under the age of 10. That's evil. It's evil on a level that we can't even begin to comprehend. So those are numbers. Let me give you a few dates. 1935, the Germans enact the Nuremberg laws. Those are the laws that prohibit Jews from owning businesses, owning property, having good jobs. The Nuremberg laws say Jewish children, you can't go to school anymore. Not where you're used to going. Now we're sending you to this new place where the teachers aren't so good and there aren't really that many resources, but we don't care. Out. Germany is for Germans. 1938, November 1938, Kristallnacht. It's a German word. It means the night of broken glass. That night there are riots all over Germany. Jewish shops are broken into and burnt to the ground. Jewish families are dragged out of their homes and beaten in the streets. You want to know what their neighbors did? Nothing. They stood there and watched it happen. 1939, Germany invades Poland. It's really the beginning of the end. 1939, we start to see death camps appear. Not just concentration camps, death camps. 1939 is when Jews are forced into ghettos. And this isn't ghetto like you think of ghetto. This is the real definition of the word ghetto, which is a small part of town surrounded by a high wall. So we could put you there and control you. 1939. 1942, Der Endlösung. It's German for the final solution. Summer of 1942, Adolf Hitler sits down with his buddies at a really beautiful lake home, and they decide the only real solution to the Jewish problem is to kill them all. Not just the Jews in Poland, not just the Jews in Germany. Kill every Jew in Europe. But that's history. You learn about that in your history class. We already decided those numbers, 11 million, 6 million, those are too big. We can't think of 11 million anything. And those dates are old. So why, as 13 and 14-year-olds in Blaine, Minnesota in the 21st century, have Pankratz and Van Zee and I decided that this book is so important for you to read? Gives us a better understanding of what happened in the past and what happens if we don't have that understanding of what happened in the past. We don't know history. What happens? If you don't know history, what happens?
It's possible to repeat itself.
It'll happen again. And guess what? On a smaller level, it has. We have seen genocide in the Sudan, in Darfur, in Cambodia, in Bosnia. Never on the level that it happened in Germany, but we've seen it. So we have to remember so it doesn't happen again. That's the first reason why it is so important that we have to read this. I have a Diet Coke problem. The second reason why it is so important that we have you read this is Shoah literature gives you a very unique understanding of what human beings are capable of. This will teach you about human nature. This will teach you about evil on a level that isn't something you can even begin to imagine. When I say that word, evil, not just bad. You can go out and have bad Chinese food, but I don't think I've ever had evil Chinese food. When you think of the word evil, what do you think of? What comes to mind when you hear the word evil? That's a question. Evil. Think about it for a second. What do you think of when you hear that word? No wrong answers here, people. Okay, murderers. What else? Villains, like from a movie. Who likes scary movies? Raise your hand if you want to go out and see Saw or whatever new stupid movie like that's coming out sometime soon. Okay, those of you with your hands raised. The bad guy from Saw chops your face off. Is he evil? Yes? Is he evil? Sure? He is, but he's not. How is he not? Well, it's make-believe. Sure, it's bad. It's gross. You watch it and then you get sick. At least I would. But it's totally make-believe. There is no guy out there doing what the guy in Saw does. What we're talking about? This is evil that is real. This happened. Evil is 1 million children under the age of 10. Evil is taking brothers and sisters, twins. Anybody have a twin? Okay. Evil is taking twins and saying, okay, we're going to put you in a freezer. We're going to put you in like a sauna. And we're just going to make you sit there until you freeze to death or until you overheat and die. Because we want to see what it does. Just 'cause we could. Nazi doctors in Auschwitz did that in 1941. Evil is taking 100 people and putting them in a train car. Not a comfy car with seats and beds. An empty boxcar with one window and no water and no toilet. And saying, okay, stand there. 3 days? 5 days? 8 days? You're thirsty? We don't care. She died? Just push her to the side. 12 days? That's evil. But that is even evil that we can see. We can understand that to some level.